Take his headphone out. You'll be crying. Hold on. You'll say, I can't hear. I can't hear it. Smokey, I can't hear it. Okay. Well, it's that time again. Are you ready? Are you ready for that time again? It's happening again. Imagine that. It's happening again. Make sure you bookmark this one. Make sure you put this one in your little file so you can come back to it in about a month and you can say, damn, he was right again. Bookmark this stream. Put this stream in the files. You can come back to it because it's happening again. We've seen it all year long. The pattern is clear. The pattern never fails. I mean, it probably has to fail at some point, right? But the odds are good if you stick to the pattern. We saw it with the stock market and the tariffs. We saw Trump do something. We saw the doubters, the panickers, the nerds, the fags lose their mind. And then Trump was right and wins in the end. We saw it with stock market. We saw it with tariffs. We saw it with Iran. We saw it with the courts. We've seen it time and time again. But you got to know the signs. You've got to be able to see the signs because y'all don't see the signs. Y'all are like, well, fucking social media said he lost. Social media said, what would social media know about anything? Was they in the room? The fuck are you talking about? Well, the TV said, the TV, anybody that brings up something they heard on the TV is irrelevant. I don't even care what you have to say. You're an idiot. You're a retard. So I don't have no desire to speak to you, debate you. You're dumb as fuck. Let's just be clear about that. If you watch the MSNBC today and you're gonna give me the talking points, you're retarded. Spare me. Just go be retarded somewhere else. Because nobody cares. It's like Jacob Larson was in the Discord playing that propaganda after the press conference. I'm like, turn that off. Turn that off. That'll warp your mind. Put a bunch of dumb thoughts in your head that don't make no sense. Remember, they've been spending the last couple of days saying he was going to give Putin Alaska and all kinds of... The liberals have lost their fucking mind. If you ain't figured that out, I don't mean that as like a troll. I don't even mean that as an insult. I mean that shit. They have lost their mind. Like 100%, like they should be in a mental institution. They've lost their fucking mind, okay? So there's no point listening to anything they have to say because they're insanely retarded. If it involves Trump, there ain't no hope to get a straight answer out of these people. They don't argue in good faith, and it doesn't matter what happens. Trump could solve all the problems in the world. We could live in a utopia. We could all be rich and you know all problems solved, just amazing, and they would find something negative about it. They'll never give Trump credit for nothing. You just have to accept that. They're never going to give him credit. They'll move the goalpost on you. It doesn't matter. It's what they do. And I'm glad they do it because that's why the approval rating's going down. That's why the midterms are looking like a bloodbath right now. Because the Democrats, They always lose. They're just losing left and right. Ever since Biden won the election, it's been nonstop defeat and failure for liberals. And I don't give a fuck that they won a little election here or they became mayor. I don't give a fuck about none of that. In the grand scheme of things, they've lost. They just keep getting defeated, slapped around. It's been nothing but hell since Biden won. I told them that would happen. That was easy to see. But we're firmly in the pattern right now. We are in the middle. We're right in it now. Trump said something was going to happen. It's happened. Now, there's the panic, making up a bunch of shit. Oh, he lost, blah, 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 blah. Just a bunch of people talking out of their ass about stuff they don't know nothing about. All that's going to pass. There's going to be a second meeting with Lazinski's going to be involved. Now, before that happens, there's going to be a bunch of bullshit. Prepare yourself for this. There's going to be a bunch of bullshit. There's going to be NATO, some head of some country, bunch of bullshit, bunch of yapping. Lazinski, I'm not giving up, I'm not this is my country. I'm a leader. And then Trump saying, I'll take all that money. I'll take all that money. I'll fucking pull the United States out of NATO. Trump's going to go hard because he has to. And there's so much dumb, retarded fucking bullshit on social media. He needs to put sanctions on Russia. No, he doesn't. He's already got what he wanted out of Putin, you fucking dummy. He already got it. He said at the press conference, got to go talk to NATO, got to go talk to Lazinski. And we have it. And he said before the meeting, there's going to be a second meeting. I see people on social media, well, they're already saying there's a second meeting, so clearly this one failed. The second meeting was planned before the first, okay? Facts matter. Reality matters. Take your weird ass and go on somewhere. You live in a fantasy world. You live in fiction. Nobody has time to talk. I'm telling you right now, if you spend the next 4 years acting like this, nobody will speak to you by the end of it. We will not talk to you. We will block, because it's getting ridiculous that you people live in a fucking fantasy. You can't even talk to these people. They can't acknowledge reality. It's getting bad. When you're like, the second meeting was scheduled before the first. Trump literally said it in the Oval Office. We all knew about it. No, he didn't. That didn't happen. This was a failure. Bro. When you're that bad, where you just it's just insane. It's just everything that got to lie about everything. Even the smallest thing, this is, we got to lie about it. We got to make shit up about it. It's terrible. And this is why the approval rating, every single time, the entire year, has been Trump doing stuff, liberals acting a fool about it, being proven wrong about it, and then their poll numbers go down. Because people are watching this. They're watching this. And the Epstein stuff, complete disaster for liberals. Everybody knows how fake the liberals are. Even if they criticize Trump about Epstein, they still see the liberals over there pretending to care. Everybody knows it's fake, and people's rolling their eyes at these liberals. They never cared about this topic. They never released anything. They've been in power. They didn't release nothing. Suddenly, out of nowhere, they care. They have tripled down on resistance. Anything Trump does is bad. Go against Trump. And it's not going to work. It's costing you even more vote. I'm telling you right now. You can be dumb all you want. I don't care. I'm just telling you what's going on. You're losing voters doing this. Even the Epstein thing, yeah, that hurt Trump. But it also hurt Democrats because of their reaction to it. Because here they come, we got to release it. And everyone's like, well, where the hell have you been the whole time? Where have you been the whole time? Nobody falling for that liberal fucking fake bullshit. And it just pisses people off. Because they do not give a shit. All this fake caring, everything they've done all year has been a mistake. Flying to El Salvador, because the average person sees that. You have to understand the average person sees that and says, why are they flying for an illegal alien? I'm going all the way. What is going on? Why is an elected representative flying to another country to help an illegal alien? It doesn't even make sense. He's supposed to be worried about Americans, not this guy. Everything they've done is just, and that doesn't mean Trump has been perfect, but it doesn't matter. Because Trump has been destroying them. He's been killing it. No other president in my lifetime has came out of the gate swinging like Trump. No president in a half a year has done what Trump has done. You can cope about it if you want, but that's the reality. He's destroying them. The party's collapsing. The Democratic Party's collapsing. They have no 2028 candidate. Trump is hitting them from all angles. They're getting hit from all angles. They can't even keep up with it. They can't even. I mean, some stuff is getting done to them. They ain't even got time to talk about it. There's some stuff happening that nobody even talks about because there's so much happening all at once that they can't even focus on that shit. So a lot of wins are slipping through that nobody's even talking about. You hear them mentioned here or there, but nobody's got time to focus on them because, goddamn, Trump's pace is relentless. He's just relentlessly hitting them. And they make mistakes. Even when Trump made a mistake with the Epstein stuff, the Democrats turned around and made a bigger mistake by pretending to care about it. Everybody knows they don't care. Nobody is fooled by that because no Democrat was talking about Epstein before a couple months ago. So everybody knows it's fake. Everybody knows it's bullshit. Nobody's falling for it anymore. And now today was a disaster for Democrats. They spent the entire day getting mad about potential end of war and peace on earth, and they were mad about that. They spent the prior week getting mad about locking up criminals and making neighborhoods safe. It's not been a good last 2 weeks. It's not been good. I know you're coping. I know you're sitting on social media and you're coping, and Trump lost today and yada, 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 yada. But I'm just telling you right now, you need to get a hold of yourself. You're delusional. I understand why they're falling more and more into delusions and the fantasies, because that's all they got. And Trump is breaking these people, and they have no choice but to just pretend it's not happening. This isn't happening. Now, everybody else knows it's happening, but they have to pretend not happening. I see Scott Jennings arguing with him all the time. There'll be some dumbass on CNN all the time in a complete fantasy, and he's got to explain to him that that's not true, or that did happen. No, it didn't. That didn't happen. Well, it did. No, he didn't end no war. He didn't end no wars. Well, the leaders of the country said he did. Well, it didn't happen. It just, I get it. He's destroying them. So I understand the coping that, oh, everybody agrees with me and everybody's appalled by what he's doing. What is he doing that's so bad, deporting people? That, I mean, I don't know if you know this, but that's what Trump ran on doing, mass deportation. Trump said, we're going to have the largest deportation operation in history. What was confusing about that? What made you confused when you heard that? So nobody's confused. But I understand the panic. You're getting destroyed, and you have to know, whether you want to admit it or not, that as Trump goes into these cities and reduces the crime and gets the illegals out and ends these wars and fixes our economy, it's only going to strengthen his Republican support. Like, you have to realize, that's why I get the anger. I understand, like, you're losing and he's just destroying you, and the more he destroys you, the more voters you're going to lose, and you can't seem to figure out a line of attack. You see, Gavin Newsom just pretends to be Trump. He types like Trump. He pretends to be. That's not going to work. The Democratic Party's over. I get you guys want to cope about it. You want to troll about it, but I'm just going to tell you the reality. The Democratic Party's over. They have no credibility. They have no credibility to criticize Trump, Republicans, anybody. Their approval rating is in the toilet. Trump grows stronger by the day. Trump grows stronger by the day. They grow weaker by the day. Those are the facts. Nobody can argue otherwise. Nobody can formulate an argument to prove me wrong on any of it. Which is why they don't even try anymore. They're done. This is why Junie said, I think I'm going to just stop talking about politics and delete all my political videos. Yeah, because you're done. You've been proven wrong. Credibility's gone. You sold yourself out. You can't start a YouTube channel now. You've destroyed your reputation, your credibility. You flushed. I told you not to do it. Why would anybody take you serious? Why would anybody listen to you? You have the reputation of a liar. You don't argue in good faith. You shield for Democrats. You have an obvious bias. And there's plenty of liberal hacks. We don't even know them. John Bolton went on TV today and said, this summit was a failure. And then I said, fucking war's over, let's go. That's all I needed to hear. If John Bolton said it was bad, it must have been good. John Bolton wants a war with Russia, brother. You realize that, right? John Bolton wants his war to continue in Ukraine. If John Bolton said it was a failure, that means it was a success. Got to learn to read between the lines. These people are mad. They're not mad because Trump failed. They're mad because he succeeded. The ball's rolling now. Putin didn't meet for no fucking reason. He didn't just meet for nothing. He didn't meet to fuck with Trump. Does Putin look like the type of guy that would fly to another country just to fuck around? I'm just fucking around. He's not a child. What is wrong with y'all? Just flew over there to troll. Putin look like the type of guy that trolls? Does he look like he sits on comment sections all day? You think he does? Maybe he does. Maybe he's in here right now, typing. So, my advice to you is do not panic this time. Do not play along with the liberal narrative because you're going to look dumb again. Elliot Speller has not sent me a single message since that summit because even he knows. He been blowing up my Twitter mentions for days. He's been spazzing out. They're restless. No, it's not a long road. We're getting to the end of this. It was all about getting Putin to come to the table and agree to end the war, and that is done. That has been accomplished. Now you have to break Zelensky and you have to break NATO, and Trump can easily do that, and that's the end of that. What's about to happen is obvious. It's so obvious. It's so predictable. Zelensky, he'll do some rant or something, say a bunch of dumb shit. You'll probably see some more attacks or something between the two countries, but the ball's rolling now. So Trump has spoke to Putin, and he knows Putin's ready to end the war. So now he knows he needs to put pressure on Ukraine. He needs to get this motherfucker to stop. When the war ends, he's going to be voted out of office and lose his power. He may even be brought to trial for corruption in Ukraine. The things he did are criminal. They were going around conscripting and all this stuff they were doing. He's not popular in his own country. He's not. So he's worried about losing his power. So he's a problem. Getting him to end the war it's a problem. Trump knows that. But Trump had to get Putin to come. Putin would not come to the table. Now he's got Putin to come. They've had their discussion. Now you got to go punk this nerd. You got to go punk him out. And the way you do it, you don't even really worry about him. You've got to get the European leaders to turn on him. And Trump's going to do that. If you don't think, have you been paying attention? Trump has dominated. I get we want to cope and we want to try. I understand. But I have noticed, I don't care about it. I'm just going to be honest. Trump has destroyed everything all year. He's destroyed all these world leaders. He's punked all of them, made a fool out of them. The European leadership is not going to steamroll Trump on this. They're not. Nobody's going to do nothing. It's over. Once you get Putin to have the meeting and the discussion and you get him to agree, let's get this over with, now you just got to go punk these fucking nerds. Well, that's easy. That's why Trump they're like, oh, he was in a bad mood. He was laughing and shit. What are you talking about? Putin spoke English Putin never speaks English if you know anything about Putin, he doesn't speak English in public. He always speaks in Russian, makes them translate. But he spoke English at the end of the press conference. You don't think that means anything? He understands Trump is not Biden. Trump is not playing around. Trump wants this over with. But Trump also knows that Ukraine's a problem, NATO's a problem, that all this bullshit. You can't have peace if you got NATO right on the border of Russia fucking stirring up trouble. So that has to be reined in. They don't want Russia and America to have an alliance because it's going to be hard to have a world war if you have Russia and America on good terms. What's China going to do? Fight the entire world? They want Russia and America split. That's what they want. And Trump is smart because he's like, if America and Russia get so tied up in trade deals and business deals and all this stuff, there's really not an incentive to go to war with each other, be an adversary. Like, it's just not good for the business and for both countries. Trump understands that. He understands that the way to peace is to have business deals, have all this money flowing, and then ain't nobody going to want to try to fuck all that up. They're just going to want to have peace. But right now, the money's flowing through war. The military-industrial complex getting all this money. So you have to put a stop to all this. You have to end all these wars. That's Trump's legacy. 10 years from now, Trump will probably be dead. You'll be looking back, and the legacy will be ended all these wars, cleaned up the Democratic mess. He ended the Democratic Party. He ended the lying mainstream media. He literally changed the world. That's the legacy. And I know that bothers you, but that's too bad. It's just the way it is. And this is TDS. This is a prime example of it. I don't want world peace if it makes Trump look good. I'd rather the world descend into chaos so it made Trump look bad. That's TDS, and that's what you guys have. You have serious TDS. It's a real thing. It's not a buzzword. It's not it's not an insult. It's not something to say to troll. It's real. TDS is real. Because when you're rooting against having peace, just because you don't want Trump to take a victory lap, you really need to take a look in the mirror at yourself. You really need to ask yourself, what the fuck? Maybe take a break from politics. Maybe you're just too into it. Maybe you're just a little too into it, a little too hateful. I mean, I seen the Kazakhstans was on Twitter saying somebody should assassinate Putin. And it's like, brother, that would cause a World War III. Russia and America would go to war. It's just the things that people wish for is insane. But he thinks, well, I wouldn't have to fight the war. I wouldn't have to go do nothing. That's why a lot of these guys have to go fight these wars. They want to defend them so bad. Well, then you should be there. Fight me. Why not? Nobody's ignoring the Epstein stuff. But if you think I'm going to get on here every day and talk about the same topic over and over, it's not going to happen. Epstein stuff's old news until new information comes out. Until then, there's nothing to talk about that hasn't already been talked about till you blue in the face. God forbid we talk about what's going on today. Potential world peace, the end to men dying on a battlefield for nothing every day. God forbid we talk about that. Yeah, because that's what I said. What just came out of my mouth is ignoring the Epstein stuff. No, that's not what came out of my mouth. What I said was, we've already talked about it. We've done streams on it. There's nothing new to talk about. So there's no point in continuing talking about it until there's new information. Is there new information? No. We're talking about relevant topics that happen today. Imagine that. I mean, it's already happening. Trump's already ended 6 fucking wars. That's what I mean by the fantasy. People are, it's really bad. It's troubling to see the excessive lying and the fantasy that we just, it's all around us. It's all around. Everyone is in their own little world. They got their own truth, their own facts. And they live in that. How many wars does this motherfucker got to end before people give him a little credit? It's just fascinating to me. There isn't plenty to talk about that I haven't talked about. I've discussed the Epstein stuff for, let's see, about 25 years, I'd say. And we've discussed all the recent developments in several live streams. But today, nothing new coming out. There's other topics to discuss. We're not going to hyperfixate on Epstein. That's a little silly. We're not going to hyperfixate on Epstein and pretend wars don't matter and other things in life don't matter. Because they do. Rest assured, when new developments come out about Epstein, I'll talk about it. I'll talk about everything. But today's not an Epstein day. Sorry. Today's not a day about Epstein. Today's about Russia, the Ukraine, and what we saw today. How about Trump flying the bombers over Putin, flexing on Putin? What's it like to be a miserable faggot? You have to pretend that wasn't cool. You have to pretend like, oh no, that wasn't. Him flying the jets over him. You're miserable. I feel sorry for people that's not enjoying life right now, because I know what the future holds. I know how dark the future is. All this AI crap and all this. Ugh. The future does not seem like a fun place. It does not seem like something that's going to be enjoyable. But right now is enjoyable. So I say, enjoy it. Quit being miserable. Quit looking for things to be all miserable about and mad about and angry about. I've been fucked over. Well, you're going to be fucked over. Don't worry. It's coming. So enjoy the good times while they last. You're in the good times right now. Trump's smacking nerds around every day, and wars ending, and price of groceries going down, and legals getting deported. It's a good times. It ain't gonna last forever. Nope, you'll be in the dark times again. Even darker though, with a weird AI. Everybody jerking off to the AI and in relationships with an AI. It's, oh god. Just imagine the future. Imagine. You guys crack me up with the Epstein stuff. You just crack me up with it. Why aren't you talking about Epstein? It's just funny to me. I understand it though. Like, I trust me, I fully understand what you're attempting to do. It's like you pop in, you're like, you're ignoring the Epstein stuff. It's like some type of gotcha thing, or like, troll shit. But it's like, I haven't ignored it. I've just already talked about it, and we're talking about other things now. You can't talk about it every day. Like every stream is about Epstein. It would get pretty boring, because I mean, you're going to run out of things to say about it. But I understand the attempt. Understand it. Where it's like you pop in, I'm talking about current events of the day, and you're like, what are you ignoring, Epstein? Because you're expecting me to just ignore Epstein, but I've already talked about it. See, you don't know what you're talking about, but I can't expect you to. You're just trying to troll because you're bored. But I've already talked about it. You know what I mean? Can't do it again and again and again and again and again and again every stream. You got to have new developments. Be like talking about Barack Obama. Like, these people still going on and on about Barack Obama. Move on. He ain't going to jail. I know he put him in jail. We know he's a crooked bastard. His reputation ain't the same as it used to be, that's for sure. Now, time to move on. Unless you're going to indict the son of a bitch, you might as well move on. And Joe Biden, fuck it. I don't even think he was really the president, so it's hard to even blame Joe Biden for anything, really. Because I don't even think he was conscious most of the time he was president. I wonder who was really running the show. Who was really the president that 4 years? Jill Biden? I don't fucking know. Probably a mix of people, like a team of people. I remember they said that in an article one time about Biden. They were like, it's a team. You have a team of people running the White House, not just the president. Because they was trying to defend Biden, and they were like, a team. The presidency is a team. And people was like, yeah, sure. Nick Fuentes is just a goof. I'm telling you, he's so goofy. He's so emotional. Nick's got a lot to work on. He got a lot of anger. Poor Nick. It's just funny they treat these guys as like experts on stuff. If you notice that, like that Ian Carroll guy, you know, there's people like interview him like he's some expert or something. He's just some guy talking about conspiracy theories. Like, it's just funny to me. It's funny to me to see like the way you all react to some of these guys. And it's just like, brother, these are just guys talking about conspiracy theories, just like people have done for decades. They're not like experts or something, so you know what I mean? They're just guys that read stuff on the internet. They've read a bunch of shit, and some of it's true, some of it's bullshit, some of it's just kind of, you know, kind of in the middle. Who knows? Hearsay. Somebody said this, some guy said that, and they just, there's a lot of dots, and they connect them, and maybe they do connect, or maybe they don't, and maybe we're just connecting these dots because we're retarded, and we, you know what I mean? We're just retarded and connecting dots that don't actually connect, but we think they do. Now, I know people don't want to actually think that. They don't want to question their own beliefs. They don't want to say, no, 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 I connected all these dots. It must be true. But it might, you might be wrong. Like you're just talking about conspiracy theories. You're connecting dots. You're looking at all this stuff and you're going, what? It looks interesting, but maybe you're just getting a little in the weeds. Maybe, you know, but people treat these people like that. God, they're experts. Experts on what? Little Nick said we were going to go into war with Iran. That never happened. That's the thing about these people. Like, that doesn't mean they're wrong all the time, but they're wrong a lot. And yet people are like, God, they're just so smart. But he was wrong about Iran. And wrong about tariffs. Like, I think he was against the tariffs. He said to vote for Kamala Harris. There was some clip going around of him the other day, you know, talking about how we'd be better off right now if Kamala won the election. And it's all based on Israel. That's what that's what it boils down to. His number one issue is Israel. And to me, that's weird. It's just a weird thing to be your number. I can understand wanting to take the Israeli funding away and all that stuff, but that's your number one issue? It's a little weird for that to be your number one issue in your life. When you go to the polls and you vote for a president or a congressman, the number one issue is Israel. That's weird. That doesn't make sense. It's not the economy. It's not the border. It's not like drugs or homeless people or fucking illegals or just any. It's not, you know, the price of fucking gas or just anything. Like shit that normal people vote on, that you don't care about, not Israel. Like, it's okay to talk about Israel. It's okay to criticize Israel. It's okay to say, cut the funding, stop sending the money, la 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 la. But how's that your number one issue? Some people, all they do is talk about Israel. It's a little weird. There's nothing else going on, just Israel, 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 Israel. Or every topic, they bring it back to Israel. Like somehow everything is connected to Israel. And you're listening to this shit and you're like, no, it can't possibly all be connected. That's silly. You seem a little too hyper fixated on fucking Israel. Like, it's one thing to criticize and have legitimate criticism. It's another thing to connect all these fucking dots and say, yeah, that's related to Israel right there, and that right there is, and that, and it's like, how? Well, that guy's a Jew. Well, how does that connect to fucking? Cause just because he's Jew, just because it's a Jew. But you said it wasn't about Jews. You said it was about Israel, but it's clearly about Jews. That's another thing I can't stand with the Jewish people, the people that hate the Jewish people. They can't be honest about it. Like, they go on these crazy ass rants, and then somebody presses them and they're like, so you hate Jews? No, I don't. Clearly you do. Or they get called an anti-Semite, they get so offended. That's a word used to shut me up. Well, here's just a bit of advice. If you don't want to be called an anti-Semite, perhaps, because you're telling me, you're saying, they call me an anti-Semite to silence me. Totally believable. But how about this? What if you didn't say anti-Semitic bullshit? What if you cleaned up your criticism and your language so these people couldn't use that word against you? So when people went and watched her shit, they wouldn't go, yeah, this guy hates... Because when you go watch these people's shit, you're like, yeah, this guy hates fucking Jews. Now, he might be right on some of the shit he's saying, but he clearly hates Jews. So he is an anti-Semite. Now, I'm sorry, he's offended by being called that, but you are an anti-Semite. You're saying, like, really hateful shit about it. Like, you're not just criticizing, you've said some hateful shit that makes me believe you seem to have a problem with Jews. That's the impression I get. You have a problem. You don't just have a problem with Israel, the country. You have a problem with the Jewish people. And you're allowed to. It's a free country, but just be honest about it. Don't get offended when somebody it's like David Duke getting offended if, somebody says he hates black people, whatever. He's fucking leader of the Ku Klux Klan. You know what I mean? It's like, if you're going around saying racist shit all the time, calling black guys the N-word and everything, and then somebody says you're a racist and then you get all bent out of shape about it, well, what have you been out of shape about? Be a proud bigot. If you're going to be a bigot, own it. Don't get fucking mad. Well, they're using that term to make people, to discredit me. Well, why did you do all these goofy ass rants and say all this hateful shit about Jews? If the whole thing was about criticizing Israel as a country and their policies and our policies towards Israel, if that's what it was all about, then why all the hateful rants about Jews? Why do all these Jewish jokes? If you want to be taken serious as a political analyst and you want people to take a look at Israel and you don't want the anti-Semitic stuff to stick to you, why would you give them so much ammunition? Why would you give them all these clips of you saying all this shit? Because you're retarded. People sit there and go, God, this guy's so fucking smart. How smart can he be? He can't even control his hatred long enough to polish up his message so it's more appealing to a mass audience. If the whole point is to get more people to hear your message, then you should polish it up so it appeals to the most amount of people. And I'm sorry, but being a hateful ass bigot motherfucker is not appealing to a majority of the public. Sorry, but it's not. That's just the reality of it. A truly intelligent person would understand that. A truly intelligent person would be able to say, okay, first of all, he's full of shit. It's not about the mesh. It's not about getting people to criticize Israel. He hates the fucking Jews. Hates Jews. Simple. It's so simple. It's not about Israel. It's not about Israel's policy. It's not about the kids of Gaza. It's about people hate Jews. They hate Jews. Not everybody that criticizes Israel hates Jews, but the particular people I'm talking about do. They do. I've observed them. I've followed them. I've watched them. They do. I'm not in the business of playing bullshit pretend, okay? If you're a fucking racist, you are a racist. If you hate Jews, you hate Jews. Now, I don't give a shit. Hulk Hogan didn't want his daughter to date black people. I don't give a fuck. I didn't hate him. But he's a little racist. He's not full-blown racist. Get a black guy fired, hang him from a tree. He's not full-blown fucking... But he's a little racist. It is what it is. Little Nick's funny. I see some clips of him. He says some funny shit. But he's just a bigot. And that's your reputation. And your reputation did not get that way because of the mainstream media or any of this shit. It got that way because of the things you said on your show that gave these people ammunition to use against you. They can play your clips to the audience and show them, and people see it, and that's how they view you. Whose fault is that? Who got on their show and said those things? You. Nobody else. Nobody else made that. Oh, they took it out of context. No, they didn't. No, they didn't take it out of context. I've had Nick Flintis fans send me compilations and shit. I've seen this shit, okay? The Nick Flintis fans were not trying to mislead to make Nick look bad. He just said that shit. Now, in a lot of ways, I think he's kind of leaning into some comedy. Maybe it's not that serious. I don't know, but I don't know how serious he hates the Jews. Some of it's comedy. Some of it is... What did the guy say on X, the term he used? Audience capture or something? I guess it means like... I've never heard that term, but what it is, I've talked about this before, where you have an audience and they want a certain thing from you, so you give it to them. So if you have an audience, if your audience is a bunch of Nazi motherfuckers, a bunch of Jew-hating Nazi motherfuckers, hate blacks, hate it, you know what I mean? As you begin to grow... You start feeding into that audience because that's what they want. And that's your audience. So you start playing into that. Start giving them that. Now, maybe you may not buy into all that and believe all that, but you have created this character. You have created this persona, and you have to continue it. You have to push the boundaries of it. So you have to go harder and harder and harder. And I could see that little Nick being there. Or he's a Fed. He might be a Fed. He might be a fucking Fed. I mean, the January 6th shit is weird. That some of the stuff he said that he's on video saying on the Capitol, how he's not in jail makes no sense. It makes no sense. That's a weird thing. Because he's on video saying some, like, go in there and take the cat. Like, how is he not, You would think that little Nick would be like a trophy for the left to get him and lock him up. So that's suspect as fuck. That right there is highly suspect. That he never went to jail for January 6th, that's suspect. Because you would think that's a trophy. Oh my God, we got little Nick. We put little Nick in prison. Fuck him too. Surely the left wanted to get a hold of little Nick, put him in there. But they just let him go? I don't know about that. Little Nick is like a cancer, though. He's not... I can understand why people don't want to have him on their show, because he's like some type of cancer. Look what he did to D-Live. Look what happened to D-Live. Perfectly good site, running smooth. Everybody was on there. It was like a YouTube alternative. We had free speech. We was able to make money, say whatever we want. There was nothing on. Little Nick comes along, storms the Capitol. Him and all them nerds in there streaming and shit. Next thing you know, there goes that. And he's a very emotional guy. Like, he just gets so angry. He's funny. Definitely funny. He's entertaining. I understand why people watch it. I watch the clips. But he's just goofy. I get why the kids are into him, but when you get older, you're going to kind of roll your eyes at Nick, which is normal. You're going to grow up, you're going to mature, and, you know, now maybe he'll get a wife and stuff, and he'll grow up and mature. But if he continues down this path, you know, 5 years down the road, as your audience gets older, they're going to be like, he's still doing the same thing. He's still telling us, you know, ain't he one of these guys that's like, fuck, don't date women and shit? Like, dude, I watched some fresh and fit thing the other night on Twitter. My God, that fucking guy's a loser, bro. It's easy to see too. Like, okay, these guys were like losers, and they like built this online persona that they're like cool. And then they made a bunch of money, which made it easier to keep the persona, right? Because now I'm rich. Now I'm rich and I'm kind of famous, so I'm kind of cool now. And that lasted a little bit, right? They rode that a little bit, but now I feel like you can kind of see that he's kind of a nerd. Like, you can kind of see, like, this guy was a nerd. Before all of this came along, he was just some nerd. He wasn't getting no pussy. And that's okay. It's okay to be a nerd. It's okay to not get pussy. It's all right. But when you try to portray yourself as a guy that gets pussy, and you're trying to give all these guys advice on meeting women, it's just like, you don't get women. You don't get them. The one guy got a prostitute pregnant. Like, he was paying for pussy, and apparently this guy had a girlfriend, and she said they never had sex. She said, we never fucked. She said that on a podcast. They never had sex. Like, what? Like, why not just be yourself? He's a guy that had his heart broke, and now he hates women. He's on a crusade against the women. Some guy took his girl, whatever, and so now all these girls are hoes. And they are hoes, but whatever, guy. You're not even fucking the hoes. You're not fucking anybody, apparently. And the other guy's paying to fuck the hoes. It's one thing to fuck the hoes if you're doing it for free. When you're paying them, that's some loser shit. It's all right to fuck some dumb thought just to fuck her, and you didn't pay nothing. You just fucked her. What's the big deal? But you're paying for it. What the? You got some girl that's easy. She's easy, but not for you. That's sad. She's easy for, you know. Other guys can fuck her without paying. You got to pay. And you'll do it. You'll pay. Like a fucking loser, which makes you an even bigger loser. Instead of just going, nah, I'm not paying for that. But now you got to put your ID into porn, so now you might have to pay. The fucking male loneliness epidemic. You know what it is? I figured it out. I figured out the male. It's been in front of me the whole fucking time. I've been talking about it for a long time. I didn't even realize it. But now I do. The male loneliness epidemic. Been talking about it for probably 10 fucking years. Before most people even noticed it, I realized I was talking about it. Because I've been talking about these guys jerking off to the cartoons. And I've also been talking about these guys who tell us how ugly Sydney Sweeney is. Or name a celebrity woman that most people think's attractive. These guys think she's ugly. I wouldn't have sex with her. No, not me. That's why there's a male loneliness epidemic. These motherfuckers, I don't even know what they want, but she doesn't exist. The woman they want doesn't even exist. They want a smoking hot virgin with a big rack and a big ass. Good luck finding it. Good luck. Good luck. And she can't have a kid. And you're only getting older, right? So you're just getting older. And you're sticking to these. Can't have a kid. Gotta be. And take a look in the mirror. You're never gonna get it. Nobody's getting it. Nobody's getting your fantasy girl because she doesn't even exist. What are we, in high school? The older you get, the more your fantasy girl does not exist. That girl doesn't exist. The virgin with she's no kids. She's not corrupted by society. Some other guy didn't fuck her up and destroy her and make her kind of hate men, and now you got to deal with no. If you want that girl, you better meet her while you're in school. While you're a teenager, you better find that girl while you're in high school. Because as you get in your 20s and 30s, that girl's not around. The fuck are you talking about? And that's why you're lonely. You're looking for perfection. Doesn't exist. You're worried what everyone will think. If you date that girl, God, what will they think? Been talking about this for years. How you guys worry so much about what everybody else thinks. And you sit there jerking off to Pornhub instead of getting some pussy. Because, my God, you'll see a girl, you'll be like, damn, she look good. But then you'll think, well, she might not look good to this other person. And what will they say if they see her? Now, your grandfather didn't think like that. Your grandfather didn't think about that shit. Your grandfather didn't act like that because he was a man. And now your bloodline will die with you because you can't. You're looking for a woman that doesn't exist on the planet. Well, maybe she does, but she don't want you. You work at Arby's. She don't want you. But there is a girl that wants you, but she ain't good enough. She just ain't good enough. And you spend your whole life looking for perfection, and then you'll die. You'll die alone. A male loneliness epidemic. Parr could have had a woman, but she was too old. She was 40, and he didn't want to. He didn't want to mess with it. So be alone. Be all alone. hungry. Speaking of fat, I'm hungry. Thinking about that food. Thinking about that food. Ricky, did our base get raided? Log in and check. Ricky, log in and see if that base is still up. And then I'll log in. I think I'm gonna eat that Jack's pizza. Am I sick? Nope. Haven't been sick since spring when I had food poisoning. Look at that. That cookie. That cookie. Elliot Speller in shambles. What a mess. Par laid low today. Where was he hiding at? What a clown. Get him in here to answer for it. Being wrong again. I love the calories. Fucking starving. I need to get on see if my base is rated. Oh yeah. Probably is. Might watch a movie actually. I don't know. You see that Weapons yet? Anybody seen that yet? Weapons? You seen it? You want me to spoil it for you? It's real good. Cookie! Alien Earth. What's so good about that?
Trump gonna go to Moscow.
They'll be crying about that. All right, I'm getting off here. I wish you well.